This is 21 years old?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get to this. This is the Pike Creek, finished in European oak casks, 45%, 21 years old Canadian whiskey.
You do not find a lot of Canadian whiskey that is of that age.
This is number 1,800 out of 4,020 bottles.
Oh, man. We probably shouldn't be opening this.
So, here's the thing. Like, one of the cool things about Canadian whiskey is you don't find age statements very often.
Yeah.
But when you do, it always kind of sets the bar higher, because there's a lot of Canadian whiskeys that when they do have an age statement, it's like 20 years old or 21 years old or whatever it might be. Or a 40-year-old Canadian Club. For
35-year-old Wisers.
Yeah, for like relatively well priced, like in the $200, $300 range.
90 20-year-old was $69,
which is crazy.
You have Rocky Mountain, is it Rocky Mountain?
Rocky Mountain, the Rocky
Canadian Rockies.
21-year-old. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. If you guys are getting into Canadian whiskey, you can find some old stuff out there
for like reasonable prices.
Like. And when we say well priced, like sometimes $300 seems like a lot of money, but if you're gonna buy a 40-year-old Scotch, you're not getting it for $200, $300. No. Like you're getting like sometimes a no age statement for $200.
Right.
You know? So, anyways, this here is Pike Creek. This is another one from the Corby's lineup.
The Northern Border
the
Collection.
Northern Border Collection, Wisers, Dr. Don.
You know the names.
You know it. You love it.
Pernod Ricard.
They put out a Pike Creek semi-recently, a couple years ago, that was aged in rum barrels.
Well, the regular one.
That's like the regular.
The regular one is aged in rum barrels. And then the last year's Northern Border Collection was Speyside.
Speyside whiskey, yeah.
So last year it was 21 Speyside. This one's 21 finished in European oak casks. So cool stuff. As usual. Block your face out. There it is. 21 years. Double barrel. 45%. And here we go. Oh gosh, it's in there good. She's in there good. Oh. And then it just fell out. Here we go.
Let's hear it again.
Nope. Not much of a cork pop to it.
Not a great cork pop, but
not a great cork
whatever.
Pop, but
hey, it's not the cork pop that makes the whiskey.
That's right.
Even though there is something about it that kind of makes it better.
We do love a good cork pop.
Whatever.
After
okay, we're gonna do this one relatively quickly because we will eventually really dig our noses into this one.
That's interesting. That's what I keep saying about everything that comes from like the Pernod Ricard lineup.
Yeah. Well, the Wisers style is similar to itself, but they have so many variants in their range.
I think it's because that corn is one of the consistent grains. So I think that all of their corn grain has an influence, and it always smells wisery. I believe the wisery smell is corn, and then it's whatever else is on top of that that kind of like gives it those the individualistic characteristics.
And the thing with the Canadian whiskey, which a lot of Canadian, like 40 Creek does this too, is where they individually distill and age
each grain.
Yeah. So there's a barrel of just corn whiskey, a barrel of rye, wheat,
you know, whatever,
and barley. So it comes down to the actual master blender, which in this case is Dr. Don Livermore, and he distinguishes what goes into which bottle, and he does a really, really excellent job of keeping the whiskies interesting, because a lot of people, I think, have this misconception with Canadian whiskey that it's all kind of just sweet and you mix it. You mix it with ginger ale or Coca-Cola, which is not the case anymore. Canadian whiskey is setting
it's to be savored on its own.
Absolutely, yeah.
This one I'm getting tart, like gluey cask notes.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's fresh oak. But it says
Which is
European
crazy
oak,
for
but-
21 years old. Like that, there's a bit of our 1 liter barrel in there.
There is a slight kind of like woody smoke to it.
But I'm talking
But there is
about
a
that.
sweetness.
I'm talking about that woody, gluey, like those. It says finished in European oak casks, right?
Oh, finished. Okay, right. And European
21
oak,
year
that
old
can mean a
select
lot,
oak
right?
aged
Like,
Canadian whiskey, finished in French and Hungarian oak casks for an
oh.
exceptional finish. This whiskey brings together Pike Creek's signature smooth style with faint hits of dry fruit, honey, nutmeg drawn from the European oak cask. I gotta say, I think the European oak casks were young
Yeah,
because
like
I'm
maybe
getting a big, tart, tangy cask smell,
for sure,
which is fun,
which is good,
especially when you've got 21-year-old whiskey.
21-year-old whiskey, like if you finish it in something like that, it maybe adds that youthful zest.
Yeah, when you
Because-
start with that, it can be like, you know, you get a 6-month-old bourbon and you're like, oh,
yeah,
man.
exactly, and then go from there and age
Yeah.
it for 21 years. It makes it like it doesn't have any. It becomes flat sometimes. Where this is like
That will add to
quite
it.
like it said on here, the nutmeg and all
Yeah.
that. There's a lot of different spices.
Well, let's taste it.
Let's taste it.
The thing that I like about it is that you get that cask finish. Seriously young oak on there. On
There
the
is,
end.
but
it's
actual-
got the body.
I know what you mean. You're absolutely right. There is that.
It's the youthful zing.
There's a youthfulness for 21 years old.
Yes. So that's cask finishing.
But the actual like smoothness of the whiskey, or the body of the whiskey, definitely has like a well-rounded age to it.
Yes. That is a nice
It's like
hybrid.
that. It's like the outer ring, the
candy
crust.
coating.
The candy coating has the youthful zing.
Yes.
And the center is.
That's an interesting kind of like experiment.
You can see where Dr. Don's mad scientist mind comes
Yeah,
in.
so this is a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
He's created a Frankenstein here. But it's a fun one.
Fun Frankenstein.
Not that angry Frankenstein.
The dance party Frankenstein.
One from the cartoons.
Good stuff. Did you know that the monster in Frankenstein, he's not Frankenstein. The doctor is Frankenstein.
Oh, Dr. Frank.
Yeah.
I guess so. What's the monster name?
I have no idea. I don't think he has a name, but he's always been associated
Monster
with being,
guy.
He's always been associated with being Frankenstein, when in reality it's the guy that makes him. So Dr. Don is actually the Frankenstein of Canadian whiskey.
I'm trying to follow.
Sorry.
He's a monster?
No! He's the scientist. In his case, a doctor.
Oh man, this is not usable footage, is it?
But you're bang on. There is that youthful oak.
Yeah.
And that must be
It's
the European
encased
oak.
in the
Yeah.
youthful zing.
So, anyways, we've gone on too long. Thank you for joining us. Get this Northern Border Collection, Pike Creek, 21 years old, 45% alcohol. Seriously good
That's
stuff.
a good one. Interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
And different, like they all are.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Thoughts. Cheers.
Cheers.